the early line. It's a Friday. It's the SportsGrid Network. We made it, people. The weekend is here, and what an exciting week of action we've had. We crowned the national champion in NCAA basketball here. Only a few games left in the NBA season before we finally get to the playoffs, and also the Masters underway yesterday. Rory McIlroy looking to defend his crown. How do you do that? Well, how about being tied for the lead after day number one? Day number two of the Masters is today. It is a Friday. Energy is high, Joe. I'm ready to go. My name's Donnie Rightside. He's Joe Ranieri, and we got you for 2 hours today.
Yeah, got a lot going on here, Donnie. Can't wait for the playoffs in the NBA. We've got, of course, more Masters coverage getting ready here. Actually, pretty soon as they begin to tee it up. So a lot to go over here today on a Friday.
An absolute lot to go over here. My Flyers got dusted last night by Detroit, but that's okay because my best bet was the Los Angeles Lakers as they cruised to a victory last night on the West Coast against the Golden State Warriors. But now it's time to get that hot topic delivered to you fresh. Extra caffeination on a Friday. Here's Joe Ranieri.
All right, Donnie. Well, on this Friday, we're going to talk about the ongoing circus happening in the NBA and, well, how Adam Silver has officially turned the league office into a reactionary social media complaint department. Because if you logged on to social media this week, now you no doubt probably saw the keyboard warriors screaming that the Sacramento Kings earlier pulled off the most egregious tanking attempt in basketball history against the Golden State Warriors. Of course, a 10-second viral clip circulated showing the Kings intentionally fouling Seth Curry late in a close game. And, well, because the modern NBA is completely terrified of online narratives, Adam Silver immediately bowed to the mob and launched a full-blown official tanking investigation into the Kings. But here's the reality check for everyone who actually refuses to watch these games, instead puts everything in a 10-second clip that they see. Because the Kings were down 13 points late in the third quarter and then went on a ridiculous 17-2 run, which completely flipped the script and forced Golden State not only to panic, but to have to put Steph and Draymond back on the floor in the fourth quarter. So with about 3 minutes left, Doug Christie, great head coach of the Kings, by the way, ordered a foul to stop the clock and use a timeout to draw up a set play. And guess what? The play actually worked, believe it or not. It was Doug McDermott, a corner three-pointer, and the Kings had the lead. The only problem was Christie completely forgot that his team was in the penalty, and the internet thought that he was trying to give Golden State more time to come back and win and purposely called for that foul. Well, yesterday the NBA released their official statement, and they basically told the entire world that the Kings were not guilty of tanking. No. They were just guilty of sheer incompetence because the head coach and an entire bench of highly paid assistants could not bother to look up at the arena scoreboard to check the foul count and realize, oops, we're in the bonus. Doesn't do us any good here to foul. And to be honest, I'm not sure which is worse. The fact that the Kings were found not to be tanking, or that there was an investigation into them tanking, or the simple fact that what they discovered was that they just suck and have zero idea what they're doing. The hypocrisy coming from the league right now is laughable under Adam Silver. He slapped Utah with a massive $500,000 fine for arresting guys in a game. The Jazz actually went out and won. But he looks at this absolute disaster class in Sacramento and writes it off as a simple strategy mistake. I think the fans, Donnie, are sick of it. I think they're sick of the sheer incompetence. And I have to believe that not only the fans, but Adam Silver are ready for the regular season to be over with and for the playoffs, Donnie, to start.
It's amazing. It's a league that we look at from October all the way through to the playoffs, and everybody agrees it's a bad product at this point. And it's not the fault of the players themselves because they still get paid no matter what. It's a league that's always been built on, Joe. The best athletes in the world are here, but then we never get to see them on a night-to-night basis for ridiculous things. Hey, national game tonight. Wemby's not going to play. National game tonight. Joel Embiid's not going to play. We've seen it too many times here in the association. And now you're seeing, Joe, the fruits of, oh, no, if I don't stop this right away, my league is going to crumble. So you overreact to every single situation to say, hey, guys, I'm on top of this, when it's such a simple fix here. Imagine this, the NBA, Joe, on a night-to-night basis. The stars are playing. Everybody's happy. The fans are engaged. It's really easy to do, but the NBA has made it so complicated. Great story for you, Joe. Starting off our Friday here, which next up gets to the early lineup, which includes the NFL, which is also doing things to upset its fan base by saying, hey, remember the times where you can just sit down on a Sunday, turn your TV on, and watch multiple games, and it's over broadcast TV. You'll be okay. Just watch the ads here. That pays us. Now, all of a sudden, Joe, you need 37 subscriptions. And if you just equate this, let's just say Major League Baseball, right? You pay for the ticket in baseball, and half the games sometimes feel like they're blacked out. In the NFL, if you buy the ticket, you should have access to every single game. But no, Joe. It's going to cost like $1,500 as a common fan to watch the NFL this year if you want to watch it all the way. Ridiculous stuff here. Get them, DOJ.
Yeah, it's and of course the NFL is just, they're going out there and being like, oh, this is absurd. We don't know what's going on. I mean, this is not the thing. 87% of our games are on free broadcast television. Yeah, in about a 6-mile radius, if you happen to be in the city that team resides in. But what if you, I don't know, are from, let's say, New Orleans, and you want to watch the Saints while you're in Minnesota? Oh, no, then you got to pay the $1,500. Oh, I get it. Yes. We've been screaming about this for how long, Donnie? I'm wondering if the DOJ will actually follow through with this, though.
Help the people for the people. By the way, the Big Ten's like, yo, we're living right now. $69.4 million in revenue from the NCAA tournament. This is why you spend all that money on your rosters. Get that payback when your teams win championships and advance.
Yes, the problem is 90% of those schools are in the red, Donnie. It's not good. Yeah, all of that money in the Big Ten, right? Yeah, except most of those schools are in debt up to their eyeballs here. So yeah, but kudos to making that initial money.
It's crazy, too. They had on a local radio station, Joe, Phil Martelli used to coach St. Joseph's with Michigan and Juwan Howard for 4 years. And they had him on explaining, like, hey, I know a lot of those players that are still on the team at this point. Did you know, Joe, they have 26 student managers alone for the basketball team itself. Imagine how many coaches, how many players you have to pay, and the faculty around them. Like, hey, we won a championship. And they go, we still lost $3 million this year. It doesn't make sense, but yet it actually does make sense with the excess that they pay. Rory McIlroy tied for the lead after day number 1 of the Masters. The returning champion had a great champions dinner and a great first round, Joe.
We had said, right? I mean, it was the weight of the world was off his shoulders after winning last year. He was either going to go out and shoot 78 or he was going to go out and shoot 67, Donnie, and have absolutely no worries in the world. And, well, that's exactly what happened yesterday. Calm, cool, collective, went about his business. We'll see if he can do it for 4 rounds. But I know one thing. There's a few guys in that top 10 there that are doing what they do really well as also. So it should be an interesting Masters, I think.
Superstars on the leaderboard on Sunday. That's what we want to see. Joel Embiid, playoff time. Oh, no. Is he hurt? Well, technically not, but an appendicitis here is going to get surgery. Who knows when he's coming back? It's a rite of passage for the process in Philadelphia where Joel Embiid is never available when you actually need him.
I thought it was like an Onion story. I was like, no, they got to be
April
kidding.
1st?
Like, no, come on. Like, there's no way. It's just too good. Right? No, it's, appendicitis right before the playoffs. I can't think of anything more Sixers than that. Can't think of anything.
Every broken face, Bell palsy, whatever he's had over the past couple years in the playoffs, knees, issues here. It's absolutely ridiculous. But how about Gary Player saying these guys hit the ball too far? Don't you remember when Tiger won the Masters 20-plus years ago? They Tiger-proofed it. Didn't seem to be working all that well.
Well, he's right. He's like, back in my day, we didn't have dudes that weighed, 240 pounds. They could hit the ball 390 yards on a He's like, guys are hitting driver and sand wedge into par 5s. He's like, come on, give me a break. We never had that back in the day. He's right. Masters
selling over $70 million in merchandise is expected in Major League Baseball. The casual guy in the dugout, he's at least making $5 million. And away we go. More stories and hot topics next on the early line.
For those people who use YouTube, there's a new feature that is powered by AI. And what is this exactly, Simon?
So let's say you're watching Yankees highlights, and you can say, YouTube, when is the next game at Yankee Stadium? You see that information on the screen. How much is the cost? What seats are available? You see that information on the screen. All right, call the Yankee Stadium box office. I want to make a reservation for 2 tickets.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Miami today laying 17.5. Miami wins, get a load of this, 152. When you hear 152, I don't care if you're laying 100. You're thinking you're winning that bet, right? They win 152 to 136. They only win by 16. Washington get the backdoor cover.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Scotty Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. How many majors will he win this year? And if he does get 4, Joe, that's currently trading at 3 cents. So a $100 investment actually only pays back $333 at this point, which is kind of insane when you ask him to win all 4. Joe, I told you already, sticking to my guns. $100 investment on no majors. None over the next 4 this year.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Shocking reality, I think, for college basketball. Certainly the purists to see a legendary school struggle to land a current college heavyweight. But this is the new world order. Mike Malone is either going to be the greatest hire in modern college basketball history, or North Carolina is going to be conducting another incredibly expensive coaching search in the next couple of seasons.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Spreadlines on a Friday that you need to know. It's the Early Line. It's Donnie right side. It's Joe Rainier. Let's get to those games starting in the association. Late night action, Joe. 10 p.m. Eastern tip time. The Los Angeles Clippers going to take on the Portland Trail Blazers. Overnight, this line was sitting around a -1.5 point favorite here towards the Portland Trail Blazers. Most outlets now have moved to around -2, and -1.5 are still creeping around there. But the total listed at 224.5. Clippers, Blazers, late night, Joe, on a Friday. What's the spread line we can look forward to?
Well, I mean, this is a battle for the 8th seed, right, Donnie? That's what we got here, and that's what these two teams are jockeying for position right now. And likely, well, I mean, somebody's going to want the 8th seed because that means you only got to win 1 game. If you land in the 9th or 10th, you're playing 2. You have to win 2 games in order to advance here. And, I mean, alternating wins and losses is what the Clippers have been doing. But Portland, I mean, they're at 40-40, which is kind of laughable here with these two teams when you think about it, because the perception of them are totally different than what the reality is of these teams. And listen, I think the Clippers now having to go on the road, Kawhi Leonard ready to go here. I think they're going to handle business in Portland. I would also keep an eye on this total, Donnie. I think that's the interesting part here, because Portland, known for defense, the Clippers have been scoring way more points than what people are used to here over the last month or so. But I tend to think that as long as Garland and Mathurin and Kawhi are in there, I think the Clippers can handle it. But I think the under has got some value here.
You like late night at 10 o'clock? Let's go a little bit later here on a Friday night show, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Lakers, Phoenix Suns. Yesterday, you saw the Los Angeles Lakers play on the road. Your boy told you, nobody wanted to take the Lakers yesterday. Why? Easy double-digit victory over the Golden State Warriors. Tonight, they're back in action, Joe, but at home to take on the Phoenix Suns. This line overnight opened up as a -1 point favorite here for the road team Phoenix Suns. Now you see the graphic. We're now listed at a -1.5 point favorite here for the Suns over the Lakers, Joe, and a total that is listed at 219.5. Can the Lakers get it done on a back-to-back? Or is LeBron James like, whoo, boy, I'm tired, and nobody's playing here tonight for the Lakers?
Well, that's the big question, right? What are you going to get? What version of the Lakers is showing up after that win last night? And I think we need to also, be realistic here. The Suns, this game means way more to the Suns than it does to the Lakers right now. But this is another one where if we don't have LeBron, we don't have a ton of offense, right? Which likely means we're looking at an under here because the Suns are all about the defense. keep an eye on. I believe early reports were that Booker is not playing in this game, but LeBron is probably not playing either. So these aren't going to be two teams at full strength. We'll have to keep an eye on the injury report, but my initial thought is definitely to the under in this game.
Here's an interesting game coming up, and you might look at this line and say, this doesn't make any sense, but understand the context of this game here. OKC on the road to take on Denver. Hey, OKC's the best team in the NBA, clinched the number 1 overall seed. They're rolling into the playoffs. The Denver Nuggets looking to stay ahead of the Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets on their schedule as well. But you see the number. Oh, it's 11.5-point favorite. Yeah, it's okay. So, no, it's not. Denver's at home favored by 11.5 on the updated numbers right now, Joe, over OKC in a total of 231.5. It's one of those where game means something to one team. Game doesn't really mean anything to another team.
Yeah, that's it, right? Nuggets are looking to solidify that number 3 seed. Oklahoma City already wrapped up the 1 seed with that win over the Clippers on Wednesday night. So, essentially, this game and the next one for OKC, yeah, it's you're going to see a lot of faces on the court there that are not starters for the Oklahoma City Thunder here. And listen, it's a tricky spot because Denver hasn't exactly been an ATS monster this year at home, but they have won 10 in a row for the first time in 13 years to actually lock in here the number 3 seed. I think they'll handle business here tonight, but am I running to the window to lay 11.5? I don't know that I am here, but we are likely getting more points, not less points in this game.
Let's take a look at some Major League Baseball action for a Friday. My Philadelphia Phillies are in action, which feels like they haven't been in action for 5 days. Why? They've gone over 20 innings without scoring a single run. Clap it up, Phillies. Get it together. They're at home today, though, taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Soroka's going to be on the mound here for the road team Diamondbacks, facing Jesus Luzardo, the lefty, for the Philadelphia Phillies. Line opened up here, that minus 168 price, but now you see, Joe, we're up to minus 188 to 190 at a few outlets here in a total of 8.5. The Phillies are expecting a bounce back, but they haven't scored runs, again, in 20-plus innings.
That's the problem, right, Donnie? Is like, what are we going to get? Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks had no problem scoring runs against the Mets there. They won last night 7-1. So they leave Flushing. They head to Philly. And Soroka's actually been much better as of late there. Kind of parlayed what he had at the end of last year. The stuff seems to be there. He's given great movement. The velocity is there. And for a team that's struggling to hit, first game back from a West Coast road trip there, Donnie, never a fun thing. But listen, it's got to be Phillies or pass here for me. I mean, at some point, especially at home, those bats are going to wake up.
Yeah, what are we going to do in Major League Baseball? Make more changes that aren't already like hitter friendly at this point? You know, you can't have the shift out here. You got the bigger base pass so you can steal bases. You know, pitchers got to be on a certain timeline. You can't just throw 15 relievers in one inning out here. What do we have to do, Joe? Move the mound back 10 feet so the pitchers come in at 78 miles an hour so some of these guys can actually hit. Wake up, Philadelphia Phillies. But let's head over to the New York Yankees. They're on the road. And last year, Joe, they would have been on the road in Tampa Bay going like, hey, man, I recognize this place because we'd be playing at our spring training facility. Back in the Trop they go. Heels on the mound, taking on Mats. The favorite in this game, it's no surprise. It's the New York Yankees, Joe. Overnight, minus 135s in the marketplace. That has steadily risen now to minus 142 in a total of 8.5. Yankees, Rays from the Trop. Give me a spread line tonight, Joe.
Well, first look at Louis Heel, right? So we're going to get to see exactly what he looks like for the first time in a while. But the Yankees almost got no hit yesterday by Springs and the Athletics. Just want everyone to understand that. A combined one hitter for Springs and the bullpen there. And the Yankees, the bats better wake up at the Trop. It's kind of been a house of horrors over the last few years. Not at their facility in Tampa, but the actual Trop, and now they're back into it. So, I don't know. You're just better be real careful here against the Rays this series.
First game's going to be 2:20 today, which is typical in Chicago on a Friday. It's Pittsburgh and Chicago. Late night, it's going to be Texas and the Los Angeles Dodgers here. Major League Baseball in full effect. But let's get over to Augusta National. What's going on at the Masters? We're going to check in next.
For those people who use YouTube, there's a new feature that is powered by AI. And what is this exactly, Simon?
So let's say you're watching Yankees highlights, and you can say, YouTube, when is the next game at Yankee Stadium? You see that information on the screen. How much is the cost? What seats are available? You see that information on the screen. All right, call the Yankee Stadium box office. I want to make a reservation for 2 tickets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Miami today laying 17.5. Miami wins, get a load of this, 152. When you hear 152, I don't care if you're laying 100. You're thinking you're winning that bet, right? They win 152 to 136. They only win by 16. Washington get the backdoor cover.
In-game live. Only on SportsGrid.
Scotty Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. How many majors will he win this year? And if he does get 4, Joe, that's currently trading at 3 cents. So a $100 investment actually only pays back $333 at this point, which is kind of insane when you ask him to win all 4. Joe, I told you already, sticking to my guns. $100 investment on no majors. None over the next 4 this year.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
Shocking reality, I think, for college basketball. Certainly the purists to see a legendary school struggle to land a current college heavyweight. But this is the new world order. Mike Malone is either going to be the greatest hire in modern college basketball history, or North Carolina is going to be conducting another incredibly expensive coaching search in the next couple of seasons.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Masters tournament officially underway. Round 1 has been completed. Round number 2 probably going to start in just a few minutes down in Augusta. And away we go into the weekend moving day, and we are going to crown a Masters champion. 2 Masters champions talking, I guess, one talking about the other one. Gary Player on Tiger Woods. Let's hear this.
You know, it's very easy. The human being is so critical of everything. If I or any of you in this room had the pain that Tiger Woods had. Think of the excruciating pain that this man has been going through for a long time. And I personally think, in my opinion, if I'm right or wrong, I'm sorry, but he was trying to be a Navy SEAL scout for a while. And funny enough, I had a friend who was a Navy SEAL scout. And he said this long ago. He said, Tiger will really suffer in future with his back and his legs. And look what's happened. I think it's 20 operations on one, either the back or the legs, but many, many operations on his leg and his back. So he's in pain. Do I blame him for taking medicine? Hell no. He has sleep deprivation. Do I blame him for taking something to help him sleep? No. But I don't think he should drive a car. When you're taking that medicine, it's dangerous when you're driving a car.
That is Gary Player. By the way, he's bringing up something interesting, which, you know, by the end of, I believe, the 1990s, early 2000s, Tiger Woods was training with the Navy SEALs, ended up jacking his knee up. But you always remember, Joe, not the famous that he was training with the Navy SEALs, but do you remember why he was famous with the Navy SEALs? Do you remember that story, Joe, at all?
No, which one?
Yeah, here's the best one here. Tiger Woods, right, worth hundreds of millions of dollars at the time. Hey, guys, thanks for training with me. Let's all go out to dinner. The bill came. Tiger and some Navy SEALs. They split the check evenly around the table here, Joe. How about that?
Yes. Yep. Now that you say it, Donnie, I absolutely remember it because, yeah, there's quite a few of those stories with Tiger.
Come on.
Absolutely correct. Yes, there is. Yep. Absolutely.
Nice steak dinner here. Yeah, we're going out with Tiger. I'm sure they all came there like, hey, you know what? We're probably going to pay for our own meals. Like, the bill's coming. Who are you going to hand it to? I was like, just hand down to Tiger. He'll take care of it with a big tip. What do you say, guys? Split the check between us, 8 or 9 guys? Sure, let's do that here. There you go. Tiger Woods to a T right here. By the way, Rory McIlroy Hopefully he doesn't go around non-tipping around the common folk out here in the business. But when you are a Masters champion, you get that air of respect, which means, yeah, I'm going to be the returning champion. I get my champion's dinner. Let me see how I'm going to start this tournament. Oh, by the way, I'm in first place. They asked him, what are you going to do now you're in first place after round number one? Quote, I'll probably go up there in the champion's locker room right now, have a little drink, put my green jacket on, and call it a day. That's how you handle business as a champion, Joe.
Yeah, listen, I mean, there is a demeanor about him now, watching him play yesterday, and a calmness, Donnie, that, I mean, this guy has got all the weight of the world is off his shoulders. And the big question was whether or not he was going to care enough when push came to shove and actually go out there and not, yeah, I mean, he was just having such a great time leading up to this week because, you know, he's champion, something that's eluded him forever. But instead, what we got yesterday should terrify just about everybody else in the field because you have a very calm Rory McIlroy laughing it up, yucking it up, having a good time, and shooting 67 and didn't play his best game, Donnie. That's terrifying for everybody else here at Augusta.
Goal for me always in the early 2000s, Joe, break 8 on the golf course. I shoot 70. I'm like, yeah, that's a good day on the golf course for me. Let's go out and relax here, work on the game a little bit later in the week. But for John Rahm, a 78, that ain't cutting it, Joe. +6 through 13 holes. He actually finished +6 yesterday in round number one. Rahm, yeah, with a bomb.
Rahm was, I mean, he got bet up so much towards yesterday. He became the second favorite on the board. Everybody thought John Rahm was going to be the guy here. And what happened? He couldn't make a putt. He couldn't hit a green. It was a disaster. Him and DeChambeau not making the Live Tour look great. But you know who is? Patrick Reed.
Captain America here, Joe. Did you know in the Masters all-time money list, you probably think it would be Tiger Woods. 26 opportunities, cashed in at $9.6 million. But he isn't the leader. It's Phil Mickelson, which is amazing. He makes $9.8 million from the Masters alone. But, Joe, 32 appearances at the Masters here. That shows longevity, and he could have played this year, but decided not to. But he leads the all-time money list.
Well, it shows you how weak the purses were back in the day, too, because they should have well over $30 million in master money alone. If that was this generation, I mean, forget about how much money he would have here. It's kind of crazy, but it's all about the jacket, not the money, they say, right?
All about the jacket, which opens up so many doors for people out there, which means a lot of money as well. We'll be right back after the break.
For those people who use YouTube, there's a new feature that is powered by AI. And what is this exactly, Simon?
So let's say you're watching Yankees highlights, and you can say, YouTube, when is the next game at Yankee Stadium? You see that information on the screen. How much is the cost? What seats are available? You see that information on the screen. All right, call the Yankee Stadium box office. I want to make a reservation for 2 tickets.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Miami today laying 17.5. Miami wins, get a load of this, 152. When you hear 152, I don't care if you're laying 100. You're thinking you're winning that bet, right? They win 152 to 136. They only win by 16. Washington get the backdoor cover.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Scottie Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. How many majors will he win this year? And if he does get 4, Joe, that's currently trading at 3 cents. So a $100 investment actually only pays back $333 at this point, which is kind of insane when you ask him to win all 4. Joe, I told you already, sticking to my guns. $100 investment on no majors. None over the next 4 this year.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Shocking reality, I think, for college basketball. Certainly the purists to see a legendary school struggle to land a current college heavyweight. But this is the new world order. Mike Malone is either going to be the greatest hire in modern college basketball history, or North Carolina is going to be conducting another incredibly expensive coaching search in the next couple of seasons.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Basketball news here. How do you get better? Well, everybody has to re-recruit their own players. How much NIL? You know what I love about this too, Joe? The NIL era, right? Which again was designed to, hey, man, some of these kids are going to, get a car from a local dealership. Some are going to get free pizza. Some may even be able to be on a Dr. Pepper commercial and more rights to them. Go out and earn your own money. NIL turned into pay to play and then also turned into get your NIL, Joe, and also revenue sharing from the university itself. So you're getting paid two different ways. And now it's like, hey, $5 million for a really good big. When we talk about Michigan, who is a team that used the transfer portal correctly in today's landscape and won a national championship. And maybe they have a footprint on, let's just get Monstars out here just to run over everybody. We're just bigger, faster, and stronger. How about this? Tennessee big man J.P. Estrella has committed to Michigan. Sources tell ESPN delivering the Wolverines one of the most coveted big men in the portal. How about that action, Joe? The rich, I guess, get even richer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody's in the portal, so it's not like it's some sort of shock at this particular point. I mean, the problem is there aren't that many spots for top teams for this many players who are entered the portal, which means there are going to be a lot of guys on the outside looking in, not getting maybe that first team. So there's no allegiance to teams or universities anymore or teammates. The only thing that matters is who comes up with the most money, apparently. And there's only a handful of schools that can truly afford to pay the kinds of money that apparently these kids think they're going to get here in the portal.
You know what, Joe, what's starting to also, we're hearing about the chirping where you always had big time boosters in these organizations, top 20 football teams, blue bloods here. They always have guys that'll hand money over. But now all of a sudden, Joe, it's like, well, hold on. Like we used to donate maybe $1 million a year or every couple of years, $1 million, couple 100,000 here or there. You're coming back to me every single year like we have to replenish like $20 million into this kitty that you have to pay for that year and then do it again the next year. Joe, what happens in like 4 or 5 years? We go to that donor, it's like, I gave you $6 million over 4 years. You haven't won a national championship. Like, yeah, I don't have any more money to give at this point. When do we reach that point in basketball? The NIL is like, the donors aren't donating anymore and we are out of money at this point. And then we start to seek other forms of payment here. Like, hey, we'll get you into like an equity sharing of the university. Who knows where we're going? But right now it's pay to play. The rich are getting richer. Michigan won, getting another good player. You know what's getting richer, Joe? In the WNBA, the players here. How about this? The Las Vegas Aces are finalizing an agreement for Jackie Young to return to Vegas. $1.19 million on a one-year deal.
See, more money. It was worth it, right? The little holdout there, Donnie.
Yeah.
Looks like that's some pretty nice cash there. So yeah, maybe things are looking up for the WNBA here, but we still got to see it out on the court, don't we, Donnie? The product's got to get better.
By the way, let me ask you a question on this show, too. You know, like the MLS, like I don't watch the MLS. I'm not a big soccer fan as is, but it's not as good like as the EPL or some other world soccer leagues that we have. But the one thing they did right was we need more superstars in our games. They would go, well, hold on. Our whole payroll is $5 million, let's just say, per team. And I'm just going back a couple years. They go, well, what if we brought David Beckham over? Well, he's not going to play for $100,000. Like, pay him whatever he wants and put it in a clause. It's for, like, the good of the game, which is exactly how they got Messi into Miami. Like, does Caden Clark have that worked in? Like, yeah, everybody else is getting $1 million, but I'm getting $15 million here.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the reality of the situation, but every sport has that person, right? There's that trendsetter, There's that person that's
More
just a
than
cut
the 90s.
above, that's going to make more than everybody else, whether you like it or not. Some people have, create their own shoes and still make more money than everyone else, while others are just happy to be, in the league itself.
You know what the funny part about this is too, Joe? Like, just put on like the WNBA on like a bigger scale. Like, if you were making $78,000 a year, which a lot of these ladies were, and all of a sudden they're making 1.9, but Caitlin Clark's making 15. Like, they would get mad at her making 15, even though they just quadrupled their salary because she's in the league, or even more, 10 times their salary. Hey, that's not fair. Come on now. When the biggest superstars perform on the biggest stage, just like the NHL with Wayne Gretzky back in the day, everybody makes more money. Understand the assignment. That's what it is. How about this assignment? Mike Brown talking about Tatum post game yesterday after a big Knicks win.
We're heading in the direction of being where we need to be. I like the climb that we've made the last week or so, the last 3 to 4 games, and we got a couple more games to get there. And for us, we'll take it one game at a time. But we got these 2 left. We'd like to win both of them. What does that mean? I don't know. We'll see at the end of the day. But when we lace them up, we're playing to win.
Relief now that this game is under your belt?
Yeah, absolutely. This is it was a big moment, big hurdle for me. I was nervous and anxious to come back here. Obviously I wanted to win and play great, but more importantly, I just kind of wanted to walk off the court, on my own 2 feet.
Did you feel nerves once you stepped on the floor or once the game started?
Yeah. I was, especially to start the game.
By the way, my biggest takeaway right there, Tatum's got some nice hair, doesn't he, man? Nice hairline as well, looking good after a game. That's be nice.
I don't. Let's go back to we want to win the last 2 games, but whatever that means. What do you mean, whatever that means? It means you want to win the last 2 games. What the hell are you talking about, my really? You're basically telling us, I wouldn't count on us winning these last 2 games, but we want to win. But what does that mean, there, Donnie? What does that mean? Unreal.
What does this mean, Joe? You ready for this one? The last couple of days, we've gotten some weird smoke signals out of Philadelphia. Like, hey, Joel Embiid's missing shoot-arounds. He's sick. Joel Embiid wants to play. April Fool's, this and that. Yesterday, mid-afternoon. By the way, we ruled out Joel Embiid because he's sick again. And then 20 minutes later, he's not actually sick. He's going in for surgery for an appendicitis here. I checked my clock. Yeah, it's April. The playoffs are rolling around, and Joel Embiid is hurt and or has some ridiculous medical procedure.
It's just bizarre. I don't know what else to say. It's just, I don't know what it is. I don't know. You burn some sage, do something, man, because the black cloud over Embiid and the Sixers team is crazy. It's absolutely, and this isn't like a one-off. We have gotten the craziest things from him come playoff time for his entire career, Donnie. It's head-scratching. It really is.
It is. It's almost like you want to just put him in a bubble the entire season, bring him out for the playoffs, and then when he doesn't even play, he gets appendicitis right when March comes around in April into the playoffs here. It's madness, but it is, I guess, the official process now in Philadelphia. How about the process for the NBA? They're upset. Everybody's tanking, but we got to get a closer look at this. Yahoo Sports says the Magic have been fined $25,000 by the NBA for violating injury reporting rules per the league. Orlando listed Anthony Black as out in the initial injury report prior to its matchup versus the Pistons on April 6th. Where, Joe? He actually played in the game. What are we trying to do? Cash parlay tickets down there? Stop it.
Yeah. Oops. Anybody would have even known that Anthony Black was playing or not playing on that team. So, please. It's just, but again, it's everything matters now because Adam Silver, he's very much in tune with what's being said about the NBA on social media.
Yeah, Jack Black, Anthony Black, same person all to me here. Yahoo Sports also. How about this? Did I have inside information yesterday when I told everybody to take the Lakers getting 4 points and that line crashed because Steph Curry's like, I'm not playing in this game. LeBron did play. LeBron played well, and the Lakers won by double digits. But here we go again. Boy, isn't it going to be awesome when the Lakers and Warriors face off in the 2025-2026 season? Steph versus LeBron. Yeah, we don't get any of those matchups anymore. Why? Because guys sit out and or get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. The last week of the regular season here has turned into an absolute joke in so many different ways. It was bad enough that you have half the league tanking, but now the other half of the league is like, there's no reason for us to play anybody here the rest of the way through. So good luck, season ticket holders. Good luck.
But wait, Joe, when is the last game in the NBA? Is it this weekend? When is the last game? When is the final end of the regular season? So Sunday, and then we go into the matchups next week with the playing games and into the playoffs. And how about this? I'm telling you right now, if you watch the NBA all season, it's like, it's been all right. The playoffs are going to be awesome. Multiple games every single night. Joe, look at the starting lineups on both teams. Everybody's playing. Hey, turn on their foot. Everybody's playing hard in the fourth quarter. I'm telling you, it's a completely different world. The NBA playoffs are awesome when the regular season stinks. Shame it's got to be that way, but we're going to enjoy some NBA playoffs. No doubt about it. We'll be right back.
those people who use YouTube, there's a new feature that is powered by AI. And what is this exactly, Simon?
So let's say you're watching Yankees highlights, and you can say, YouTube, when is the next game at Yankee Stadium? You see that information on the screen. How much is the cost? What seats are available? You see that information on the screen. All right, call the Yankee Stadium box office. I want to make a reservation for 2 tickets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Miami today laying 17.5. Miami wins, get a load of this, 152. When you hear 152, I don't care if you're laying 100. You're thinking you're winning that bet, right? They win 152 to 136. They only win by 16. Washington get the backdoor cover.
In-game live. Only on SportsGrid.
Scotty Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. How many majors will he win this year? And if he does get 4, Joe, that's currently trading at 3 cents. So a $100 investment actually only pays back $333 at this point, which is kind of insane when you ask him to win all 4. Joe, I told you already, sticking to my guns. $100 investment on no majors. None over the next 4 this year.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
Shocking reality, I think, for college basketball. Certainly the purists to see a legendary school struggle to land a current college heavyweight. But this is the new world order. Mike Malone is either going to be the greatest hire in modern college basketball history, or North Carolina is going to be conducting another incredibly expensive coaching search in the next couple of seasons.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Gatekeepers, that's what Joe Ranieri and Donnie Rightside are. Yeah, we're not young. We're not 16, 17 years old, in our early 20s. We already made those mistakes, Joe. So we take a look at some of these opportunities and say, we're going a little bit too far or not. We brought up the other day, and I don't know if they can even bring this up, the Edwin Diaz hat, the most ridiculous hat I've ever seen in my entire life. That better not make a comeback. But it's up to us, Joe, to tell the younger generation, which Edwin Diaz is the younger generation, stop the madness, just get back to business, wear your hat backwards, and we'll be okay. You might be saying, like, well, Donnie, where are you going with this fashion look? Because I love fashion. The 2026 City Connect uniforms. If we can bring this up right now. Now, my Phillies aren't listed in there. So I'm going to start with the Philadelphia Phillies, who have the stupidest iteration of jerseys for City Connect that I've ever seen. Say, hey, City Connect. The colors don't connect to anything here. They look ridiculous, and whoever made that up should be fired. Because you know what's easy in Philadelphia? A City Connect jersey. Put the Phillies in a green and white jersey as if it's Kelly Green with the Eagles. It would sell trillions out here. But yet they put a jersey up that nobody in the right mind wants to buy. So, Joe, let's take a look at some of these new 2026 uniforms. And we can't focus on one, which I want to. There's a Baltimore one where I guess who is in the I can't even see the player then. Is it Adley Rutschman? I can't see who that actually is. But that Baltimore jersey that says "Be More" on it, who made that? Who needs to be fired, Joe?
I actually don't hate that one, Donnie. I think that's
Stop.
I think because most Orioles fans can't spell anyway. So what's the? I mean, I at that point, I think you're good to go. I think that's fine. I love the color. I think it looked, and I love the B on the hat. I thought that looked really, really cool. It was the Royals one that was just horrific. There are a few that are.
I don't mind that one actually. See that? I like this. Good. This is good.
There you go.
See, this is good now.
There you go.
This is good now.
Yep.
So, Joe, so the Royals with the little R I like, but also, do you know the concept I don't mind? Like, you're talking about the Orioles jersey. I don't like the Be More at all. But do you notice the jersey colors are what their colors are and they just change uniform?
Yes.
I don't mind that. Like, the Phillies went and said, you know what? We're going to be the Union soccer team this weekend and just wear that every Friday. Ridiculous. I'll tell you another one here. Wisco is on the front of a jersey, which again, me being, I assume that's the Brewers jersey right there. That's your City Connect Wisco.
Yeah, I don't. Isn't Wisco I don't know. Call it, is it a state? I don't understand how the City Connect. Like, I just don't understand what we're doing here. If I'm in Milwaukee, shouldn't it be something? I don't know. Call me crazy. The whole point of the City Connect is not to recognize the state. I'm so lost with a lot of these, Donnie. And the color combo too is wow. Interesting. So why couldn't we just? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Can we just? Home and away unis, keep it simple. Change the hat every now and then, right, Donnie? Like every year, I'll get the salute to the military hat from the Yankees and other teams. Like, you just change the hat. Keep the unis, change the hat.
And by the way, City connects for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So they go, yeah, we're just going to put Pirates on our uniform. How much money did they spend on that City Connect uniform? Just throw the Pirates on. And another one. What genius did this? We're the Texas Rangers. Tejas. Who are your designers? Like, was that a fleet of 35 people that came up to put Tejas on a Texas jersey?
Don, and I just don't know, like, who is there one person overseeing all of these? Do the teams themselves have any input as far as, we're not making our players wear this? Like, this is not, or is it just, here's what it is, guys, it's in your locker, you got to wear it because Major League Baseball cut a deal and this is what they came up with? I just want to know the protocol. Like, who do they have any say whatsoever, these teams?
Like, and again, like the goal is the excitement of the fan base. Now, I'm not saying they have to get overly excited, but again, I just use like my fandom in Philadelphia, where if in the 1990s Jeffrey Lurie bought the team and went away from Kelly Green, if you tried to do that today, like there would be an outcry with people with pitchforks there on social media. You can't let that happen, but he did it in the middle of the night, and now we have our midnight green, which is an okay color. But understand this too. Like, shout out the Atlanta Braves in that picture right there. They have a real clean uniform, but the Phillies, like, the goal for an organization every time is we raise ticket prices. Why, Joe? Because we want more money. Hey, beer was $6 last year. It's $8. We want more money. A hot dog is $6 this year. It was $4 last year. We want more money. And they go, you know what? Our fans are rabid, diehard fan base. We give them a good jersey, we will make millions of dollars. Let's give this puke-looking jersey that nobody will want to buy. That'll go over well. It never makes it. For people, Joe, that are so smart, that own corporations, sometimes miss the mark completely. Like, once again, if you are a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, hey, here's our alt jersey. It just looks like your regular jersey at this point. It just says Pirates a little bit different.
Yeah, all right. Well, what the Reds one is great because now it's like a C that it looked. Yeah, but I like that. I mean, but is it a C though? Is it really like what? Like Pac-Man? You're going, okay, what are we doing here with this? I get it, but at least the Padres changed that horrific City Connect one that they had that looked like they were from Miami and wanted to be Miami. Like, it just like, thank goodness some of these have changed from what we've gotten over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, and by the way, like the Marlins logo and the Minnesota Twins logo on their hats, like they look like the same hat. Like, hey, by the way, the Marlins hat looks pretty good. Let's just make that an M for Minnesota as well. Some people do some stupid things in high places in Major League Baseball. I tell you, wasn't doing anything stupid yesterday, Joe. You were like, you know what? Springs used to be a pretty good pitcher here. Jeffrey Springs took a no-hitter into the 7th against the Yanks yesterday. 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks. And by the way, 1.47 ERA for Mr. Springs. Ooh.
We tried down yesterday, Donnie. We loved the under at that game.
Yeah.
Cool attention. We didn't think either team was going to score a ton of runs, but we also didn't think that the Yankees would be almost no-hit in the game. But we had said Springs is a couple years removed now from having the, the TJ surgery there.
Yeah.
Kind of worked his way back slow last year, but all indications in spring training were this guy was a Cy Young candidate when he got hurt, and he was mowing him down, and he did it again yesterday.
By the way, anybody who's played baseball at any time here, when you get a fly ball that's either in the gap or 2 guys running full speed that don't know whose ball it's supposed to be, you call something late and you collide, those are nasty collisions. Parker Meadows and Riley Green had one of those yesterday, man.
Yeah.
Prayers up. Hopefully everybody's okay for that. More hot news, more hot topics coming up next right here on the Early Line.
For those people who use YouTube, there's a new feature that is powered by AI. And what is this exactly, Simon?
So let's say you're watching Yankees highlights, and you can say, YouTube, when is the next game at Yankee Stadium? You see that information on the screen. How much is the cost? What seats are available? You see that information on the screen. All right, call the Yankee Stadium box office. I want to make a reservation for 2 tickets.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Miami today laying 17.5. Miami wins, get a load of this, 152. When you hear 152, I don't care if you're laying 100. You're thinking you're winning that bet, right? They win 152 to 136. They only win by 16. Washington get the backdoor cover.
In-game live. Only on SportsGrid.
Scotty Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. How many majors will he win this year? And if he does get 4, Joe, that's currently trading at 3 cents. So a $100 investment actually only pays back $333 at this point, which is kind of insane when you ask him to win all 4. Joe, I told you already, sticking to my guns. $100 investment on no majors. None over the next 4 this year.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
Shocking reality, I think, for college basketball. Certainly the purists to see a legendary school struggle to land a current college heavyweight. But this is the new world order. Mike Malone is either going to be the greatest hire in modern college basketball history, or North Carolina is going to be conducting another incredibly expensive coaching search in the next couple of seasons.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Everybody likes to get a haircut, Joe. Grabbed one yesterday for the weekend here. Got some big things I got to do, but also understand this. NFL coaches, when I'm a first-time head coach in the NFL, I want to look good for my picture, and then, oh no, I missed the actual picture with all of the head coaches here in the NFL's annual owners meetings here. Let's hear from Todd Monken. What happened here?
Oh, I really don't give a I mean, it had nothing to do with me. I mean, they moved the meeting. I didn't miss it. I was just trying to get a sweet haircut. I mean, that's what I was trying to do. And then they moved the meeting. Now, you can blame that I should have been at the meeting when they moved it up and my ass would have known that's when it was. Yeah, okay, I got you. And was it disappointing? Bet your ass it was disappointing. Would my life to be a head coach? I'm not in the head coach's picture. You'd think with AI they could have done that quickly and got me in there. But no, it's the way it is. It'll be under the bridge, and what'll matter most is how we move from here and do we win or not. That ultimately, none of that will matter.
The reason I asked is that there's this perception around the Browns, what can go wrong, will go wrong. People always read the worst into what happens here. How can you guys change that perception?
Winning. Well, what changes everything, right? Winning changes everything, right? I told the coaches that the other day, right? Or playing well. How does a player stop a narrative? Play well. How do we stop a narrative on offense? Score. How do you stop a narrative of winning? Win. It's pretty freaking simple, right? I mean, is that not in life in general, right? There is a narrative out there that, you're not a good husband. Well, change. Be a good husband, right? All that's part of it, right? Change the narrative. Become that. That's what we have to do. It's real simple.
Joe, I get my haircut every 2 weeks, and it already looks like Todd Monken needs a new haircut again already. How about that?
Beginning to like him a lot, Donnie. I'm really enjoying his answers to the most. This is the problem, Browns. This is the kind of stuff you're talking about at press conferences with Todd Monken. Instead of actually talking about what matters, which is real football and football talk, I don't know, who's your quarterback here this year? What are you hoping to get? Instead, you're asking, how could you schedule a haircut appointment during the coach's picture? That's what you're worried about in Cleveland. I can't. I really can't.
By the way, shout out the reporter for the actual question he asked and Monken's response to it, because Monken said winning, but the question was, this is just such a Browns thing, which is everything always goes wrong with the Browns. Hey, we're just going to take everybody's picture of the head coaches in the league. Well, there's only one guy now here. Of course it's the Browns head coach because everything they do is wrong. And he goes, how do we get around that? Just start winning football games and nobody will care if I miss the actual picture at the owner's meeting at this point. And he's dead right about that. The Browns have been fodder for everybody for 25 years, not because we just like to make jokes. They do it to themselves time and time again. And he had the great response, like, I just win. Nobody will care about anything. We go next year and make the playoffs. Nobody will care about anything we did for the past 25 years. And he's right, Joe. Now let's flip it over to getting paid in college football. I just told you this. This is great that we have this story coming up now. Sooner than later, Joe, you go to the boosters and they go, well, I'm not giving you any more checks. I've donated more in the last 5 years than I did over the last 25 years. So smart universities go, Mr. State Representative, it's now time for the taxpayers, whether they like it or not, to donate to the university. Wisconsin now, look at this. They're going to get close to $15 million from the state, Joe. You're out there working your ass off at your 9 to 5 to pay an 18-year-old kid to come to your school. And you know what? You don't have any choice in the matter now. Oh, boy.
Well, I mean, but, Wisconsin can thank LSU and the SEC for coming up with this. Don't forget, Mississippi has also been trying to push legislation through, but this all started once the governor of Louisiana stepped in and was firing guys and, flying coaches. Yeah, you knew the rest was going to follow. It's big business, and it's only a matter of time before politics got involved there, Donnie.
So good. Now you're going to the taxpayer. You already bled off the boosters. Now you go to the taxpayer. What's next? What actually happens next? But hey, by the way, just bought a brand new Ford Mustang this weekend. Did you know they slapped an extra $1,000 on for Wisconsin football that I had to pay while I got my Mustang in the state of Wisconsin? Get ready for it. It's coming. And by the way, the NFL, they're way ahead of the curve, Joe. I'm like, wait a second. People love our football. But streaming is the downfall of our society because there's way too many streaming networks. And it was like, hey, you want to give us $1 billion for 2 games? We'll take it here. Good. Now the NFL fans like, wait, I got to have 16 subscriptions, Joe, just to watch the NFL. And sometimes they're still going to black it out.
That's exactly correct, Donnie. And they're just going to throw their hands up in the air and be like, listen, we provide, what they say, 80-some-odd% of free television broadcast. If you're within a 3-mile radius of the stadium. That's it. That's all you give.
Never forget, your local Ford dealership has bought the remaining tickets so you can watch Philadelphia Eagles football. Oh, my goodness, man. Hour number 2 on a Friday. Fun, man. Fun and topics and football. Everything goes hand in hand. The Masters round number 2 today. This weekend we'll crown a Masters champion. And away we go, only weeks away now. Days, I should say, until the NFL draft. Day number 1. Pick number 1. Fernando Mendoza. By the way, Fernando Mendoza, let me ask you this question, Joe, because we're going to get to a couple topics. Mendoza came out, actually, he didn't come out. It was Kirk Cousins. He was like, yeah, Mendoza's going to be here. And the NFL was like, we don't like that, and had words with whoever is leaking that information. That we actually think that Mendoza's not going number 1. That's some big thing. You got to tune into night number 1 of the draft to see who goes number 1. Like, was it that big cat that got let out of a bag here? Come on.
No, I think it's become more and more of a thing where fewer and fewer guys are showing up. I mean, back in the day, Donnie, it was, it was great TV too. Watching guys like Aaron Rodgers just melt away in the green room there. I mean, that was part of the whole process. But now guys are like, yeah, I don't care what, first, fifth, don't care, really not. I'm not spending a weekend in Pittsburgh or Cleveland or Green Bay. Like, I'm not doing it. It's just not happening.
Yeah, we'll get to the draft attendees in a moment. But let's hear from Liam Cohen here. Look, I like hearing from some of these coaches in their press conferences, Joe. Let's go.
Yeah.
Liam, does it help that you're evaluating guys that were coming out of high school when you were coaching college? Because I assume you don't get to look at as much college football right now. Yeah. And then following it up, are you got to convince Baselli to not take 11 offensive line?
Trust me, yes. That answer, if they don't play hard, it's hard for Tony to get around
regardless of position.
Regardless of position, which I really
they
appreciate.
They don't block or tackle.
Yeah, at a high clip. No, we're working on him. No, he's doing. I appreciate that about Tony, and because it's our culture. It's it's what we want to be, is physical and tough, and that can't be something that we sacrifice. And then to say, yeah, there's a lot of players that are coming out that I've recruited.
By the way, Joe, there's so much pressure on NFL organizations, like in the season, like every single week feels like it's do or die and your job is on the line. But I got to tell you, off season, being in the NFL, whether it's a coach or whether it's a front office, does it just seem like you want to show up early at 9 a.m., hang out with the boys, grab some lunch, everything's paid for, watch some videos, talk about, what's going on in sports. It's got to be a great job in the off season. Regular season, I don't know if I like it too much.
You can't, right? Want nothing to do with it during the regular season. But yeah, I mean, there's some options here, Donnie. But all in all, I'm with you. Regular season's off limits.
Draft attendees, Joe, showing up here at the draft. How about this? Of course, the number 1 overall pick is not going to be there, but Jeremiah Love and the boys will show up. You want to dap up the commissioner and say hello to the people in Pittsburgh. I'll tell you, there'd be more draft attendees, Joe, if this was actually held in Miami. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, or Honolulu, or San Diego, or just about anywhere outside of Pittsburgh or Green Bay. But let's not forget, these cities are now paying the NFL to host this here. So you can't be excited forking over all that money. And of all people, the number 1, presumptive number 1 pick, not going to be there. Sorry, not going to be there. Can't help you.
Black eye for the NFL, but the man wants to stay with his family in Miami. You cannot fault him for that. But you know what else we could fault the NFL for? They don't have this draft in Pittsburgh. Yeah, don't charge us so much just to watch your product. Every once in a while, Joe, the price gouge is going to be out there. Headed to a ball game anywhere, it's like, all right, I get a hot dog at 7-Eleven for $1.99. I'm going to pay $6.99 here. It's just where it goes. But now when you're like, I got to pay for this, watch it here. Opening night is here. Sunday night football is here. Monday night's here. Thursday night's here. Now Wednesdays are here. Fridays are here. Stop the madness. It's too much money. The DOJ says, enough price gouging. Taking a look at the NFL now.
Listen, if you are any sort of bar and restaurant owner, Donnie, you have been getting, especially in the DirecTV days, you were getting absolutely destroyed, and you're still getting destroyed for the cost. It's not any better that it's on YouTube TV, by the way. But it was just a matter of time because guys have been, civil suits and class action suits. You've gotten every lawsuit in the world against the NFL for what they have price gouged the fans for. But you know what? To this point, still nothing's changed, Donnie. Nothing's changed.
like I can't imagine like bar owners like back in the day. It's like, well, how many people can watch football here on a Sunday? $200, and they're like, well, that'll be like 20 grand. Like 20 grand. Like this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like the NFL's always had it over our heads, and now next year there'll be some other streaming service that actually gets more money into it, and we pay more to watch that product. The Big Ten, they're doing pretty well with their cash product here. How about $69.4 million in revenue thanks to the NCAA tournament going back to the Big Ten?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they had a heck of a showing, didn't they, throughout the tournament? But the problem is, who made money, though? At the end of the day, when you add all of that money the Big Ten made in, how many schools are in debt? Just curious. All of them? Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Congrats, though, on a great tournament.
Yep, watch out, women's archery. They're coming for you next. Chop, 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 chop. Let's get over to Rory McIlroy. He was good yesterday, Joe. Enough to be tied for the lead at 5 under after round number 1 at the Masters.
Yeah, and that's scary because he didn't even play his best round. But he turns out, Donnie, at 67, his best opening round ever at Augusta there. I mean, usually he starts, oh boy, here we go, Rory. He usually, once he's out of the tournament is when he usually shot really good. But to start at 67, being the defending champ, which doesn't happen an awful lot, Donnie, impressive stuff. I think that's bad news for everyone else there chasing him right now.
There you go. Rory feeling good with that jacket from last year. Had a little drink there yesterday. Maybe went up to the Crow's Nest to check it out. Joel Embiid, he's not checking out of anything. Maybe the hospital in a couple days. Appendicitis surgery. No details on when he can come back. Could be 2 weeks, could be 4 weeks, could be done. But at this time of the year, it's always Joel breaking down somehow.
Well, and here's the other problem. I mean, the last person that had this happen was Anunoby, I believe, back in 19. And he was out a month. So, you're not just popping up out of the hospital after getting your pentagram and being like, woo, let's go. I mean, we're talking about a month here, Donnie. You already might be home and out of the playoffs in a month.
The distance debate here, Gary Player talking about it at the Masters, and technically he's right about this, Joe. Like, I remember like my father would show me when I was growing up his old golf clubs. Like, they're hitting wooden drivers with, balata golf balls that didn't go anywhere. Now you have the best technology of everything, and guys are bigger, faster, and stronger in golf now.
Yeah, and his point is, listen, there's what's a par 5 anymore these days? There are no more par 5s. When a guy's hitting a driver and a sand wedge in a par 5 and he's, putting for eagle all it's not the game is not what it was originally created to be there. So you either have to and the other problem, Donnie, is when they make the courses tougher, these guys cry left and right. So, the greens are too fast. So he's right, though. I mean, just buck up and make the courses longer.
Yep. Shout out the U.S. Open. Is like, by the way, par is the true test of golf, not minus 16 during a tournament here. The U.S. Open makes you really earn it when you get there. And how about this? The Masters selling merchandise expected to be about $70 million. Boy, you slap Masters on anything, it just gets paid, man. It does.
Yeah. I mean, who'd have thought of like a lawn gnome there would be the hottest selling item, Donnie? It's like a Cabbage Patch Kid here. Unbelievable. But hey, listen, if you're there, get it. It's going to be worth money. That's for sure. The collectors are all out there, Donnie, in Augusta right now.
Masters. You can't just walk up there and knock on the door, Joe, and say, I'm worth $2.2 billion. Let me in this place. They'll throw you right out of there. But apparently a gnome is okay. That's going to sell for about 10 G's. How about Major League Baseball? The average salary now has reached $5 million. Now, it does get heavily weighted by guys like Ohtani making like $1 billion. But hey, let's go make more money. But then again, Joe, December 1st, 2026, that CBA expires. Uh-oh.
You know what I was thinking here? Well, is right. But I'm also thinking, you know what? Like a lawn gnome makes a good wedding gift. What do you think?
Does it really? Ooh, how about
I'm
two
just
gnomes?
saying,
Also,
I'm thinking that's not a bad idea.
By the way, it's going to be a lot of eyeballs on a certain person bringing a certain guest to the wedding here. I'm not going to name names at this point, but Kevin Moss, look at him. He's coming up next right now. Here he is, baby. Big Friday on the early line right here, SportsGrid Network. It's myself, Donnie Rightside, Joe Ranieri. We bring in Kevin Walsh to have some fun with us today. There's a lot of hot topics going around. The Masters here, the last weekend of the NBA, which I should say is the preseason is done in the NBA. We finally, Kevin, get to the regular season next week. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, hopefully the playoffs are good. I don't know how healthy the playoffs are going to be. Maybe Adam Silver can put in another rule for playoff. I don't know. It's what a mess.
Look, maybe you got to extend it out. Like, sometimes, Kevin, we have like a big competition. It's like, hey, let's wait a half hour to delay this. Can we delay the playoffs till the superstars get ready? Which brings me to my first question for you, Kevin. Yesterday, let's date this back maybe a week. There's been a weird underbelly in Philadelphia of Joel Embiid. Is the guy sick, or is he messing around on Twitter? Like, I want to play tonight. They tell me I can't. I missed a shoot around. I had the sniffles, but I was up late last night, so I should be able to play tonight. And then he's out against sickness. And then he was announced out for a sickness yesterday, which turned into appendicitis. So we don't even know if Joel's even coming back at this point now. Oh, Kevin. Well, I mean, come on. The Sixers are supposed to make a run. If they got healthy, they could be a fun team, and they're never healthy out here.
Yeah, but the thing is, the never healthy Sixers are so much more complicated now than Joel Embiid's too big. First of all, this is the second year since they acquired Paul George, and we got Paul George showing up looking like he forgot how to play basketball. He had to retire from podcasting for a little bit. Maxey was flirting with a breakout. This is last year, only played 50 games. And then Embiid was just never around, maybe washed. So then we get to this season. They look like they could be like a deep, sleeper. But Embiid's super unhealthy, is what it is. Embiid comes back, they're terrorizing teams. He looks just as good as ever. Oh, Paul George is suspended. What? All right, PEDs. Yeah, suspended. What? We don't even suspend people. Yep, he's suspended. Great. So Maxey's still breaking out. He's hurt now. Why? He's 25. Nope, don't worry. He's hurt. It's all good. They're back. They look awesome. They all score 25 every game. And then you pick your head up and whatever this is with Embiid. And here's the crazy thing. Get injury-prone guys. You're like, yeah, it's his ankle. It's his foot. Joel Embiid, it's appendicitis. He got his orbital bone broke. His hand doesn't bend. He does have unbelievably bad luck, Joel Embiid. But if you're the Sixers and you miss the playoffs 2 straight years, how are there not drastic changes this offseason?
It has to be. It has to be. My question is, can they even stay out of the play-in game in these last couple of things here? Can they catch it? Atlanta, and we're looking at a month, one way or the other, right? Anunoby had this back in 2019, and he was sidelined for about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
4 weeks, you're done. The season's over already, isn't it?
Well, I mean, this is where the Sixers are so fascinating, in that if I were to tell you they are, the 8th seed playing a Detroit team, people be like, and they're healthy, like maybe, right? Maybe. But now, does Philly make it out of the play-in, because the play-in is bizarrely loaded? I turned a Magic game on yesterday, and I saw Franz Wagner. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought Franz retired to play over in Germany. I didn't know Franz Wagner was still on the Orlando Magic. So Franz is back. The Hornets are one of the best teams in the NBA. Heat culture, I'll let you handle that, Joe. I mean, whatever's going on with that basketball team. But even if Philly is the 8, I would say this, and I think you guys would agree. Let's say Philly's the 8, Charlotte's the 9. If they play in the 8-9, that second game, winners in, loser goes home, Charlotte will be a favorite in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid missing the basketball game.
Yeah, probably will at that point here. And also, sometimes it comes down, Kevin, to the end of the year matchups that you get. So if we take a look tonight and say, okay, Lakers and Rockets are like, good. Nuggets probably got to play OKC. Well, that's a loss for them. Not so fast. You have the team that's already clinched the number 1 overall seed, and then you take a look like, wait a second. The Nuggets are favored by 11.5 points tonight over OKC, and rightfully so. still the betting public's like, wait a second now, I'm not falling for this. I'll take the 11.5. Buyer beware at this point now. Nuggets and OKC tonight, Kev. Do we get a full lineup? Do we get people trying? Or is this just an easy win for the Nuggets?
Well, OKC is certainly sending no one out. I like that OKC didn't even do like a big injury report, and then we'll decide later. They just ruled out as many guys as they could. SGA, Chet, the whole deal. What I find funny, though, and I don't really know what Denver's angle is here, but their injury report is star-studded as well. And I assume that's in part because the awful, terrible, everybody admits it, 65-game rule, Jokic only needs to play one more game, and they got 2 left. So Jokic doesn't need to play each of the last 2 games, unlike Wemby, who's going to rush himself back to finally win a Defensive Player of the Year. I would say, Donnie, actually buyer beware on the Denver side. Just make sure Jokic is in, right? But I will tell you this, I don't know, I'll end up with the public. If this closes Denver 15, I'll take the Nuggets, or I'll take the Thunder's backups getting, almost double digits against anyone.
Big night for LeBron and the Lakers last night. Get it done. So the question is he playing tonight? What do we think we're getting? The Suns would like to win the game, I would imagine, although Booker's already been ruled out and Jalen Green is questionable. But it's a pick'em. What are we getting?
Yeah, it's funny. I guess Donnie was on the Lakers. I actually liked the Warriors, and then they ruled Steph Curry out, and I was stuck. Because I wasn't going to middle myself or anything, but I was like, the Lakers are absolutely winning this game. LeBron by himself isn't going to lose to the useless Warriors version, and that's not what happened. I don't really know. The problem is the Lakers now almost like need help in order to catch Denver. And if you're the Lakers, you're not going to get that help. Do you play LeBron on the second leg of a back-to-back at age 41?
Nope.
And if there's no LeBron, Phoenix is going to close as a much bigger favorite.
How about that? It's Kevin Walsh. Game time decisions coming up tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern with Gabriel Morency right here on the SportsGrid Network. Enjoy your weekend, Kevin.
Sir.
That is it. expansion, Joe. More money for everybody, or at least we think. Owners groups love this. Why? Because they just sit back and be like, wait a second, you're going to put a team in Philadelphia and Cleveland and also in Detroit in the WNBA, and you're going to give me more money? Absolutely. The only problem is it starts to water down the product and you get what you get. We worry in the NBA that adding 2 more teams here on top of this tanking, they better get their arms wrapped around this. But the WNBA Board of Governors has approved the expansion teams in Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia, Joe.
Why does Cleveland keep getting teams? I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand. I mean, I do not, but hey, listen, as long as you've got a new CBA on, right, everyone's on the same page, holding hands, it's, you know, kumbaya, you might as well strike while the iron's hot, right, Donnie? Just more games, nobody will watch.
But by the way, it's a staggered delay for adding these teams, which I find interesting. Like if you're Philadelphia, it's like, well, wait, why do we got to wait till 2030 when Cleveland gets 2028, Detroit gets 2029, and Philadelphia gets 2030? I guess it would just be madness to put 3 expansion teams at once and pull players from different teams and stacking or redoing the draft at this time. So maybe it's easier one at a time, but just interesting to see, did they pull straws, Joe? Like, oh, man, I got 2030. I wanted to get started in 2028.
Yeah, right. I show me the money, Donnie. Apparently, now everyone got a lot of strike while the iron is hot, man. As long as the networks and the outlets and everyone's willing to cover and put it, you're going to make some money finally. So why not? More.
Let's head down to a little Fade the Public poll action from Augusta right now. Will there be a first-time winner at the Masters this year? And for me, Joe, I say no. And so do most of the people out there in the public. Look at that poll there, 100% no. A maybe? A yes? Absolutely not. No. Joe, Rory's going to win it. Scotty's going to win it. Give me somebody that's won it before that's going to take care of business.
Well, I'll tell you a little fact here, Donnie. 20 of the last 21 Masters champions have finished in the top 10 after round 1. And the only one that didn't was Rory last year because he shot terribly on the opening round, but was 26, but came back to win it. So if I'm looking at the top 10 here, do I think Ho Tong Lee is no? Brian Campbell? No. Kurt Kitty? No. I think I can narrow it down from there and say definitely not going to be any sort of first time or new person winning the Masters this year.
Time to end the week in style here. Friday is payday. Let's see what we can do on Bye. The floor is yours, Senator, as we like to say. Joe Ranieri, where's that best bet coming from today?
Well, listen, I mean, you almost got no hit last night by the A's. So I'm going to assume that now traveling to Tampa and back at the Trop, which has not been kind to them, Donnie, prior to, of course, the roof getting ripped off. But Tampa is also one of the best and most home underdogs. They have been absolute money for a long time in that building there. Louis Hill on the mound for the Yankees. I have no idea what we're going to get from Louis Hill. Who knows if it's even going to last. Matz is on the mound for the Rays, but the Yankees, they got a bit of a hitting problem right now. So I'll take the 1.5, apparently, with the Tampa Bay Rays here because, let's face it, home dog, it has been money over the years. No reason to change it now.
Welcome to the Trop. We'll see if some runs can be scored tonight in that game. I'm going to go over to the association. Picked up another victory yesterday, so I'm 3-1 on the week heading into this Friday in the association. There were 2 games I was looking at tonight. One of them would have been the Denver Nuggets, but they played that favored role tonight going up against OKC when everybody's backing OKC. But you know me, Joe. I like taking basketball teams that nobody wants to bet on and nobody gives any chance at winning at certain moments here. Take a look at this game. The New Orleans Pelicans and the Boston Celtics. Celtics played last night. 75% of the betting public today early is on the Boston Celtics. That line opened up at 16.5. Do you know where it still sits right now, Joe? 16.5 points. So the handicap tonight, nobody wants to take the New Orleans Pelicans. Your boy DRS, he's taking the Pelicans tonight and the 16.5 points. Who's playing for the Pelicans? Who cares? Let's bet them, Joe. How about that handicap?
Yeah, likely nobody, Donnie, that anybody's ever heard of is playing for the Pelicans.
Correct.
But you know what? Memphis covered the 23.5 the other night. We didn't know anybody either.
Nobody's playing for this team. Don't you worry. Some guy's going to collect a paycheck. Nice. Maybe a late 3 ball goes down to make it from 17 to 14, and you get that cover. It's how we do it. Now, coming up next, Prediction Markets Edge on the early line. It's time for the best half hour you're going to have on this Friday. We'll be right back after this short break.